everyone. I'm going to sit and color this for a little while. Also keep in mind that at 3 o'clock I'm going to continue the cartoon piece that I started yesterday. You guys are still welcome to join in and help with that. So I'm going to continue coloring this piece. Okay. I want to tie a little bit of blue into the sky. So I'm going to do some of these stripes blue. It'll look really interesting. You guys hear slight snorting noises? It's Pumpkin. I think she has a cold right now. I just find the marker noises so soothing. So the blue in the sky does look a little weird. It is something that I wouldn't normally do, but I wanted to try something new today. I also think it balances out the green cactus, because if I was to just make the sky the same color as the sunshine, it would tend to just, the whole picture would look very much the same set of colors. It wouldn't give it balance. So we're doing something a little funky today. And because these stripes are kind of tapered, they kind of grow bigger as they go out, and they get smaller as they go towards the sun, which is kind of what real sunbeams look like. I'm trying to keep my lines as straight as possible. Instead of following the kind of angle, I'm more just working with stripes, which is going to give it a very funky pattern. And I will show you in a second what I'm talking about. So if you can look, because I'm doing the straight lines, you see how you kind of have these little stripes within the bigger shape. It gives it a really funky kind of texture. So you can kind of see it a little bit here. Then I think I'm going to do one more blue one to just give it balance. Okay. So that'll kind of look like the sky is breaking through the sunbeams a little bit. It's a weird concept, like I said, but I think it somehow works for this piece. So what I'm also going to do is, that's not the right orange, is it? I believe it was this orange. What is the right orange? I'm just giving the sun a little bit of detail. Well, this is a piece from my Color Me Happy coloring book, which you can order at artbydeppin.com. Sometimes when I'm coloring, I'll go back and I'll look and I'll see little white spaces. It happens. I mean, nobody is like extremely perfect in coloring. I just kind of gently color them in. I'm trying to decide what texture I want to do on this because I have some horizontal textures and vertical textures. I'm thinking actually though, try and keep this as solid as possible to kind of break up the textures a little bit. So that actually gave it a little bit of texture, but it's very subtle. So you can see the vertical stripes, but it's not quite like the peach. You see how the peach kind of has like that streaky texture, whereas the yellow is more just solid. And I'm also mimicking the colors in the sun. So the colors in the sun are going to mimic what's in the bottom. And again, the blue will offset the cactus so that the cactus won't look so weird in comparison to the sky. I wish you guys could hear the noises the pumpkin is making. I don't even know if you can, but she's like snoring, but also snorting at the same time. Extremely passed out here. Let me see if I can alter the camera in a minute. She's over there in the window. That really shiny thing right there is a cat. Okay. One more yellow stripe. I think we'll do this one right here.
So you can totally tell, remember when I layered all the different yellows? So there's a darker yellow. There is a darker yellow in the sun than there is in the ground. It's still the same yellow, I just only did one layer on the ground, which will offset the color. I'm also going to only do one layer of yellow when I start these, which is what I'm going to do right now. And that will match this so that the sunbeams will mimic this color, but it will offset this color, which will still make the sun kind of pop a little bit. So I'm going to do the same thing I did with the blue. I'm just going to do straight stripes outward. But what I'm going to try and do is, because the sun is striped, I'm going to try and make sure that I don't have the same color in the sunbeam touching the sun. So I'm going to try and make sure that these yellow sunbeams don't touch the yellow stripes in the sun, and same with the rest of the colors. So see that yellow matches this yellow. And now that you can see it more in retrospect to how close to the sun it is,
there's a slight difference in the shading. See how this is more bold and dark, and this is more light and airy. And then the stripy texture also gives it a very light, airy feel. Still thinking about what color I want to make the rocks. Typically in my desert scenes I tie in pink and purple, but this one I was trying to keep the colors a little more masculine and a little less girly, so I'm thinking I might just do gray rocks. And see, this is where this is going to get tricky, because I really should do a yellow stripe up here, but I don't want it touching this yellow. So I'm going to do one more yellow stripe, I think right here, and then kind of think about that before I go and do something. It also kind of depends on how many are left over at the end. As far as the little sunbeams, because if there's a certain amount, I may or may not be able to actually pull off not having the same color touch itself. Yeah, no. So I'm going to do another red stripe down here. I'm trying to decide if I want to do one more red stripe. So I think right here. All right. Whoop. Guys, I almost lost the picture. Yeah, I just threw a marker off into oblivion. There's a marker pit on my floor right now. It's literally just a pile of markers that need to be organized and put away. But I haven't yet. See, I colored outside the line a little bit right there, but I'll fix it. This is honestly what I love about marker art, is when I make a mistake and I have to sit there and stare at it for like 5 minutes trying to figure out how I'm going to fix it, because in reality, there really is only so many options. Also, another mistake right here. There's a little smudge of orange where I must have had it on my hand. But those will get covered up. They'll get fixed, and you'll never even know they were there. So, there we go. And now the bottom part of the picture is almost done. So, and I'm going to stare at this for a minute and decide what color I want to do right here. I'm honestly thinking the dark orange. First off, it's going to cover my little mistake. Second off, it's evenly placed within the other ones. Okay. One of the best tricks when coloring with markers is understanding what colors hide other colors. That helps you hide mistakes. So orange, which is just your standard orange. There's other shades of orange. This is called tangerine. It's a lighter orange. But you do standard orange with standard red. These two hide each other really well because they're kind of within the same family on the color palette. So they can easily go over the top of one another and cover up minor mistakes. And I'm doing the horizontal stripes because all the other dark orange stripes have the same horizontal texture. Or vertical, sorry. Vertical texture. Jeez. I don't know my directions right now, guys. So there you go. It kind of mimics the sunrise, sunset, whatever you want to call it. It's technically not either. Could be either or. So now I gotta figure out what color I want to do this stripe. Honestly thinking the light orange. Mainly because it just feels unbalanced. There seems to be an odd number of stripes. See, there's, well, I guess not. Alright. I'm gonna do the orange. See, the one thing I don't like about the bottom is I should have done one more peach stripe. See, though, there's only two. But it does kind of balance out in the end because it kind of draws your eye to it a little bit more, which is never a bad thing. And to be honest, every artist, I don't care who you are or what you think of yourself, we are never 100% happy with a piece. There's always something we look at and we're like, oh, I could do that, could have done that different, you know? And then you just take that knowledge. You own the fact that it's never going to be what you really think it's going to be, and you move on to the next piece and you say, I'm going to do better next time. I will always tell people that the hardest thing about being an artist is knowing when to challenge yourself and push yourself out of your comfort zones. Trying new things, drawing new things. And I should have done a different stripe. Sorry, I live next to train tracks. Okay. Whoever this one person is that always watches my videos, I appreciate you. No idea who you are, but I think you're awesome. So there's the bottom of the picture. It's funky, it's different. You have a mix of different textures. You have horizontal stripes and you have vertical stripes and you have some solid color. And it just mimics the sun. So what we're going to do now is work on the sunbeams. I'm going to start with the orange just because I'm holding it. And I figure that's a good place to start. I'm going to follow the same rule of try to not have it touch its own color within the sun. Just for right now, I will figure out what to do when I run out of options. I hope you guys are enjoying me talking and explaining what I'm doing rather than just watching me. I also hope that you guys are learning a little bit. I mean, I'm not really here to try and teach people, but I'm also trying to just kind of share some knowledge of things that I learned. I've been a professional artist for 10 years, so this is something that I've built myself up to doing. Okay, now I think I'm going to do one more right here. One big thing when coloring, especially if you're trying to keep straight lines, it's easier to work towards you because you can always move backwards if you have to. It's really hard to move forward, especially when you're working on a table, because eventually you hit the table. You also, your arm doesn't extend that far. So if you're pulling back towards you, you have more reach doing this than you do doing this. It just makes coloring a little bit easier on everybody. Especially if you're doing big, long stripes like this where it's most of the paper. And the paper I use it's size 11 by 17, so it's 11 by 17 inches. And my coloring book, Color Me Happy, has the same size paper in it because I wanted you guys to know what it's like for you guys for me to color, so that you guys could experience coloring the way I experience coloring. See, not only does that blue now tie in the cactus, but it also looks really good with the orange because blue and orange are opposites on the color palette or color scale. Color scale, whatever you want to call it. People call it different things. Color wheel. I call it the color scale. Starting to think this is a sunset. Another train. Not a sunrise, simply because of these dark red that I'm doing in there. Well, it's actually just standard red, but I mean, it makes the picture appear darker. And see, because I'm mixing prismas and Sharpies, you're getting two different kinds of textures, but it's the same texture. It just looks slightly different. See, with the prismas, you get a more fine line, and with the Sharpies, you're getting a more fat line. And that's because of the way the tips are designed. So prismas have a super pointy tip, and then Sharpies are a little bit fatter. And the more you use Sharpies, the duller the tip gets. So they get the lines get a little bit wider. Guys, I cannot talk today. Okay. I'm going to do one more red. I'm going to do a red one right here. Alright, I'll be right back. Bask in that glory for a minute. Okay, I'm back. Alright, where were we? Staring at this picture, trying to figure out what to do next. So, the only two colors I haven't used, well, I guess this is the only color I haven't used, which is a peach. And I think since I did such minimal peach in the bottom, I'm going to do a couple extra peach stripes. I almost said pink. Peach stripes up in the top. Kind of give it balance. I think I'm going to do one more red one right here, though. So, This peach is weird. It looks super orange when I draw it at first, and then when it dries, it looks pink. Not quite pink, but I mean more pink than it does when it's wet. So far, I have been able to color all these sunbeams without having the same color touch itself once. So I'm pretty excited about that. My fail-safe plan is just color the remaining ones with blue if I can. Okay, I'm gonna assess this situation, see what else I can do. So, I think I can do the rest in light orange. I think that's my plan, because they can all fit light orange. Can't do a peach there, although I would kind of like to. I feel like that's the easiest way to get this to where I want it to be. Don't really want to add more blue. I think the blue is very evenly spaced at the moment. And because it is such a stark contrast to the other colors, I like that it's minimal and it's spaced the way it is. So yeah, now that I see this as a whole, I'm definitely going to color the rocks a gray color. I actually think I'm just going to try and finish this piece during this live stream. Again, it's still going live at 3, so I do want to leave myself a little bit of a break in between live streams so they're not back to back, but I think I can actually finish, maybe. I don't know, because now that I'm looking at this, I'm kind of feeling like I want to do a little bit more with it. We'll see, guys. We'll see how I feel. It actually looks super cool. Worked out pretty much the way I wanted it to. So now I'm going to grab a couple grays. You guys want to see my marker pit? This is the marker pit. I really need to clean it up. Like, I am well aware I need to clean my studio. Maybe I'll do that on a live stream. Maybe you guys can, like, give me positive words of encouragement while I get over my laziness. Okay, I want that gray. Oh, you guys just almost watched me like totally kill myself. You are welcome for that bit of entertainment. Alright. So this is going to be like a super dark gray. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to color some of these rocks. I think because they're rocks, I'm just kind of going to do a kind of weird, kind of sketchy pattern. And then I'll go back in and I'll fill in the white spots. Okay, and that's going to kind of give them like a, if you guys can see that very well, it gives it kind of like a rough, kind of rock look. I mean, it's a rock, so let's just say it as it is. It looks like a rock. One of the worst things to do when I'm doing like this kind of just little like, because see, watch, this is how I'm doing it. So I'm just doing little like scribbles. And the worst thing is when I get too wild and I go outside of the lines. Okay. So as I'm looking at this, I think I know what I'm gonna do. There's a piece that I made called Patterns in the Sand. And I drew little like polka dots and stripes and things in the sand in this desert piece that I made before. And that's why it's called Patterns in the Sand. And I'm honestly looking at this thinking it needs that. Sorry, my table's shaking, guys. Okay. I don't know if you can see that very well, but like it kind of gives it a rock type texture, which is kind of interesting. Because all you guys saw me to do was like scribbling for like forever. And then I'm just going to kind of go through and do this. Okay. So now that I know I'm probably going to have like another hour's worth of work on this guy, I'm going to log off for now and start prepping for my next live stream, which is at 3. So stay tuned. I will be back. And enjoy your day, guys. If you don't tune in later, hope you have a good day. If you do tune in later, see you then. Here's one last good look at this guy before I log off. Bye.